Yeah, what do I got?
How has coffee played a role in your career, Joel?
I can't remember. I want to say in Santa Cruz was the first time I drank coffee, maybe. Because I was up there for the club event. I went at the land. It was so cold. I didn't have like hot chocolate or anything for kids, you know. And I remember drinking coffee at that particular. I was like, this shit's kind of crazy. It's got a little kick to it. And then I wouldn't say it became a thing until I had kids. Tosh in particular was the beginning of me drinking coffee. Before that I never drank coffee. But then once he was born, I started to drink coffee a lot. Which is kind of funny. Some people drank it before. I don't know, I just always had a ton of energy. So I could like, you know, I didn't need it. But then like having him around just drained me of all extra energy that I had. And I'm trying to get these things open. So where's my scissors? Oh shit, that's right. Give me that. Call it dope for nothing. That was pretty dad-esque right there. I almost cut the fucking top off, and there was an opener. That was pretty good. I wish Tosh were here for that. So, I used to use the Mr. Coffee behind you, that thing. And I still do, but so when I was gone, Glover and Majid were here, and some dude sent them like a couple of these. This is his company. I don't even know the guy. But Jeff has like a history of stealing shit from me, and wetsuits and whatnot. So this is the first thing I ever technically got to steal back from him, and I take pride every day in making coffee that I tag him in videos pretty much daily, reminding him that I finally got something out of him. Yeah. I had a French press. It was too confusing for me.
French press was too confusing.
Too confusing. This is more simple. Well, you know, my friend Daniele is always like, you're not supposed to ever clean the bottom, just rinse, you know, so I keep that part like that.
What do you think's the most expensive coffee you've ever had?
God, that's a good question. I don't know, man. There's some coffee on the North Shore that's pretty expensive these days. What's that one place in Malibu that has like the layered? Yeah, Sun Life. I think that takes the cake. Hey, wait. Oh, hang on. Hang on, I gotta get my layered. In honor of the North Shore season coming up, getting layered stuff out there is kind of hard, and you know people kind of they hide it like in the houses. You'll see someone like getting it out of a bag, but they won't share it with anybody. You know. In honor of me talking about it too much, I had to get some yesterday. Jeff Glover Special. Just put like a whole paycheck in my coffee. You know? Good morning. Thank you, Ace Coffee. I got lucky this last year. It was like that there was no events happening, and theirs were. Mm-hmm. So by default, it was the only thing I got to do. I didn't even really know if I was gonna compete after Noosa, because I didn't know if my events. To be honest with you, had my events ran last year, there would have been no competing for a world title, because my events would have coincided with all these other ones. We have 4 a year, and they had 2, and it's in the summer. We usually run 2 within the summer. It's just, you know. I mean, maybe we would have gotten lucky and the weekends would have, like, you know, not overlapped, but I doubt it. I got lucky that, you know, a lot of things got shut down for 18 months. I mean, not that it was luck, that shit sucked for everybody, but it was cool to be able to do, Devon's contest. Got to hang out with everybody. It was really cool. Well, here's some funny shit. So 2 weekends ago, I won the world title. This last weekend, I got second in the over 40 division. Over 40, I got second. So there you go. The club events are still, without doubt, the hybrid of talent, whether it's in Australia or here. The rest of the world doesn't have surf coalitions like we do, but for Australia and for here, that's where all of the talent comes from, pretty much. I still do them. I don't think I would have been world champ if I hadn't stayed competitively active in the coalition stuff. Because the knowledge you gain in competing, for one, every club is against your club. So you have 3 judges that are purposely low scoring you. Do you know what I mean? So what it takes to win, you have to win by a mile. You can't just win by a little bit. You have all these, like, I'm not saying it's right that they're underscoring you, but it's just the way that clubs work. You know what I mean? No one's going to score for their particular guy. I mean, for someone that's not on their club, they're not going to go out of their way to, like, they're going to do whatever they can to make it difficult. So you have to be really good at what you're doing. And if you turn your back for 1 second, you'll get paddled around. Do you know what I mean? So you learn real quick to, like, priority and who's deepest and which ones you can't go on, because they'll call paddling interferences and interferences like that in those things, I turned my back for 1 second this weekend at Cardiff and I got smoked. And I thought I was going to turn, I was like, fuck, everybody got me, But that's why I did good at Malibu. Like, it was so easy with the priority. It was like a joke. You know what I mean? You could see a wave running to the bay and you could go chase after it without 5 guys getting behind you. You'd lose position. And to have 30-minute heats, you know what I mean? We only have 15-minute heats. You have to catch 2 waves, and you got 5 other people. Kind of, like, I hate to say it, but the WSL stuff's kind of easy in comparison to doing those. It's the truth. Like, it's a weird reality, but in longboarding, it is the truth. Like, the club events are going to be harder. Even in the 40-year-old division. Like, Dane Purley kicked my ass this last weekend. Dane's really good, Just because he's over 40 doesn't mean he's not, like, in a world-class thing. In shortboarding, over 40, you're done. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not aging well. It's like Kellys are they're not even a percentage. It doesn't happen. In longboarding, you get better with age. Especially that, like, late 30s into the, like, look at, you know what I mean? Look at Devon, dude. Kind of prime example, In his late 30s, he started to, like, really wail, you know what I mean? And, like, he's now in the latter part of his 40s, and still one of the best. It's funny, the tour director surfs better than a large percentage of the people that are competing. And I think that's kind of why it's so important that he remains, and that particular title and job is in the hands of somebody that surfs like that, because they understand. They've been in the trenches. They've been screwed on priority calls. They've had, you know what I mean? You need all that stuff so that they have a polarizing view of what it takes to lead that kind of unleadable crew. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to keep all the longboard crew in order. We're very different. We're not athletes at all. But at the same time, there's like not a ton of money in it, so there's no real jealousy or animosity towards each other. Anytime an event pops up, it's so fun to see one another. You know what I mean? Obviously, some people take the competing part a little serious, right? But everybody's just excited to be able to hang out afterwards, parking lot hang, go eat in between heats. Everybody watched each other's rounds. I didn't really see anybody freak out. I mean, I freaked out, I'm on a priority one, but I wouldn't really call it a freak out. I just wanted to know why I didn't get priority. It's just frustrating when you lose, those kind of priority things are valuable, man, because it affects your seeding to the next round and who you end up with. And it did kind of affect me. I had all the fucking hardest heats. You know what I mean? I got all the gnarly guys that are, like, really hard to, like, deal with out there. Taylor and Connie are not the people you want in your rounds that world titles are, being decided. Taylor's a 3-time world champ. Kind of knows the wave. Like, not kind of, knows it super well. And regardless of what equipment he chooses, he can whip your ass in that particular situation. So he was probably the biggest threat that I thought. My dad particularly thought Connie was going to give me the hardest amount of time, because he watches other heats and he's like, "Hey, you're in fucking trouble." He's like, a regular foot against goofy foot, that's not a good, those numbers don't add up with Malibu so well. I even told Connie that. I was like, well, Pop's kind of picked you as, like, the, his favorite. It was hard because Noosa had one board that I took, and it wasn't necessarily the same kind of board you'd want to ride at the pool. I mean, the pool's a nightmare. That is so hard to ride. It is so not a longboard wave. I mean, I've surfed it before, but I had a shortboard. So I never had any kind of like, whoa, there's too much distance in front of me with foam. You know what I mean? And then when I went back last year, that wasn't really a contest. That was just like fun for the day. And we all got to surf, and I rode some different boards, and I kind of got like board insecurity on that trip because I watched, Justin's a fucking freak, and he was getting barrels in spots that I can't barrel ride my longboard like that. Like, I've never done it. I always get a different board, So it threw me for a loop because all of a sudden I had to learn to tube ride a 10-foot boat backside, which I still didn't do a very good job of. Do you know what I mean? I fucking surfed like shit. The lefts I got a couple, but I mean, dude, it's hard, And then you got the variable of every wave's different in that pool. They're never really the same. Some will tube, some won't. Some, it's but at the same time, it's super fair because it's the same kind of scenario. Obviously, it changes in between certain things, but can't really talk shit because you're getting the same opportunity as the other person. It's just sort of up to you whether you blow it or not, And it's easy to blow it. If you get caught behind the train for 1 second, you're done. So I don't mind if they have it there personally. I feel like it's such a challenge. You know what I mean? It makes it to where it's nice if someone throws a wrench in it a little bit and it makes it to where it's not that easy. Malibu, I just knew because of it's just really hard to make sections. And unless you know the bend in the middle, because there's one that's just south of the lifeguard tower. If you don't know how that works, and you can't spot how it bends out and which ones are bending too far, and which ones are too far up that way and don't have a shoulder remaining on the bottom, that's just takes a lifetime of going there. And you could tell which people knew and which ones didn't. A lot of people didn't. And everyone's so hell-bent on really wide-tailed boards right now. That's the worst thing you could have out there because Malibu's fast. And if you have all that width behind you, if you're regular foot and it's a 1 foot wave, it's cool. But if you're goofy foot and you're having to make sections and shit, that's just you're just tying a brick to your ankle. Pretty much. And that's why I took a low rocker board with not so much width in the tail. It was just I was able to make sections where you were seeing people were having to pat the water in my nose to get through. I would just have to switch stance, and then my toe side were facing the wave so I could plane better. Because if your heels are facing the wave and you're going backside, you're always going to go slower. There's more area on the fat part of your, It's all this is getting covered as opposed to water going over the front half. So that's why you switch stance. When you're switching stance like this, the water's just going over this part. If you're backside, it's running into all of that fat part of your foot. Does that make sense? That's like a cup, you know what I mean? Where that's flat. So there's theory behind why you switch your stance in different parts to gain momentum. It works. And at the same time, you don't have to flail your arms and bounce your board around to get through it. So it's you're just using basic mathematics of foot width. It's funny because I've explained it to people over the years and they're always like, whoa. And it's what do you mean, whoa? Dude, one is a glove. That's a full glove to catch water. The other one, it just rolls over the top of your feet. That's why regular foots go faster at right-hand points than goofy foots. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just that weird little bit of drag is that much drag to keep you from, projecting forward in a part where someone else that's just turned the other direction can they can lift their chin and they'll fly through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's just shit you got to pay attention to. Thank the Hawaiians. They invented switch stance surfing. That's where I saw it first. It was Buffalo and those guys at Makaha. First time I'd ever seen it. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.